What is up, my butter biscuits? Y'all, within today's video, we're going to be talking about James Charles' new makeup line, which I want to say, y'all, I feel like this has been in the works for years. I feel like everyone always says, like, oh my gosh, it takes like 2 years to make a brand, even though I do feel like obviously it could take like 10 years to build a brand, really depending upon how much you're coming out with and what you're doing, and if you're coming out with your own concepts, you know what I'm saying? Your own custom designs, your own custom packaging, y'all, because there's some things out there that really can take a lot of time manufacturing. However, I feel like with James Charles, I'm just kind of wondering, like, why is it taking so long? Yo, I feel like he's been working on this for like 4 years now, maybe like 3 years, but then by the time it comes out, it'll be like 4 years. However, I guess I was sleeping underneath a rock and I did not see that James Charles actually made a whole separate, I was gonna say Twitter, a whole separate TikTok account called James Charles Makeup, where he's kind of like being just strictly makeup and he's getting people involved in his brand and his decision making when it comes to his brand. And I really do feel like this could be a really cool concept to have the fans in on it to help him create his products as well too. And within this whole TikTok, he's basically like asking people, how do I get new people like involved in a new brand, or getting people involved in a new brand, because obviously this day and age can be a little difficult because there's just so many brands out there. And I really am genuinely curious to know how his brand is going to be, considering I feel like the whole like beauty world is kind of coming to a slow end. Not like end completely, obviously, because makeup's always going to be in, but I do feel like there's just way too much oversaturation of products, so it's going to be very difficult for a new brand to thrive because there's just way too much competition out there. Y'all, I was like super under a rock on this because he actually made this at the beginning of the month, and I was like, wait, what? I literally barely saw it. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, only because I have been off of TikTok now for about maybe like a month and a half. I can't believe that I'm even saying this because I feel so stupid saying this, but I really have had to like distance myself from TikTok because I found myself getting like way more ADD than usual. I no longer had the attention span to pay attention to anything, y'all. I was literally talking to my friend on the phone one day and I literally did not pick up one single word that she said because I was sitting there scrolling through TikTok, because yes, the sound still plays. And on top of that too, I no longer could watch a movie and I could no longer watch a show because all I wanted to do was sit there and be on TikTok. So I feel like that's how I missed his whole new TikTok over there, because I have just really been trying my hardest to stay away from TikTok, even though I love it so much, y'all. Like, TikTok to me is just, I don't know, so fun, and I feel like it knows exactly what you want to see, so then it just keeps you on. And I really found myself just going down the rabbit hole with that, and I was like, I need to stop. And anyways, y'all, so now I finally seen these videos from James Charles, and I really did want to talk about his brand because a lot of people are giving him concepts, and then he's also talking about some of the things that he's going to be coming out with. So I wanted to talk about that within today's video, because he said the first launch of his brand should be coming out in the beginning of 2023, which is very soon. So anyways, if you guys are interested in hearing about that, of course, going to keep on watching. Make sure you guys head over to my second channel, please. I would really appreciate that. I upload new videos there every single Sunday. It is my travel channel with my brother, in case you guys have not seen. The link will be down below. I would appreciate the support over there, y'all, because I'm really trying my hardest to like hurry and get that channel monetized, but you need 4,000 watch time hours now to monetize your channel. When I first started on YouTube, it was literally only 1,000. Y'all, back then you only needed 100 subscribers and 1,000 watch time hours, and now you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours. And we got to the 1,000 subscribers. However, the 4,000 watch time hours, y'all, I need about 3,800 more. So if you guys can help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it, because I feel like that channel is going to be a little bit costly, because it is obviously surrounded all of like traveling, you know what I mean, which can be a little costly. So I need to hurry up monetize that channel. So make sure you guys go over there and help me out. I would really appreciate it. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up as well too, and let's go ahead and get into it. So James actually posted this TikTok right here, which I will be playing a little bit of the clip of. It is a little lengthy. I will be playing a bit of it in a second, where he actually is opening up about his brand and he is showing samples of his brand, and a lot of people are commenting down below of giving him ideas as well too. And I want to say, I think that this could be a really cool idea. However, he's asking people about kind of like their ideas of things when he's already in production with it, which I feel like by time these ideas come around, it's going to be a little bit too late. He did say one thing I want to like read that I did take from his comments, only because things can be very difficult. One person had commented in there, cancel any deal with that factory, because the people didn't like some of the blush tones that he had, or maybe the pigmentation of it. I really do think that it's cool that he's showing it inside of it. I feel like it would be really cool if he did kind of like a whole little docu-series about it, kind of like how Shane Dawson did with the whole making of the Conspiracy Collection, only because myself, like y'all, I was so in them labs before, so I know all the creating of products. Some of those labs I've been to, and I'm just kind of like, it's so cool to see the behind the scenes, and it kind of like inspires you and then makes you want to purchase that product so that way you can get your hands on the final product. I think it would be cool if he did kind of like a whole docuseries about it rather than a TikTok, or a little bit of both, you know what I mean? Anyway, so this person said cancel any deal with that factory, and James Charles wrote back to that, ha ha ha, labs never get it right on the first try. It usually takes 2 to 5 rounds of redirects and notes to get a final product. My first product took 20 plus. Y'all, I want to say, when I was in the labs before creating my lipstick, y'all, this was like before when like liquid lipsticks were like on and popping. This was when I was trying to do my brand. This was about 7 years ago now. Y'all, it took me about 1.5 years to get down the formula that I wanted, because basically what I was creating, I'm never going to come out with it now, but basically what I was creating, and it took me so long to get, is I wanted kind of like, picture a tube lipstick, like just a standard tube lipstick, but in a liquid lipstick form, only because I feel like you can get way more precise with it, and then it does hold a little bit better. However, I wanted that creaminess, that richness, and that like hydratingness of it, you know what I mean, with avocado oil and all that good stuff in there. So it was really, really difficult to get down to the nitty gritty. So he is definitely right about that. I am going to play a small little bit of his TikTok so that way you guys can see a little bit of context behind it, because I'm going to be reading a lot of comments, because I really do like this whole like insiderness of it. And people came up with some really good ideas. And y'all know that recently I have been talking about like, why are brands coming up with the same old thing? They really need to listen to some of these ideas, because y'all, some really cool products can be made. And y'all, there's probably some things that I should not say within this video, because I had some ideas way before of like what I wanted to come out with, but since I'm literally never going to come out with a brand now, I'm like, you know what, we might as well talk about it. So go ahead and check out his TikTok first, and then we'll talk about it.
Help me make a product for my makeup line. My first product is done and is launching in the beginning of 2023. Until then though, I wanted to get a head start on a bunch of other products. Instead of kind of making it a big secret, I wanted to take you behind the scenes and show you guys the lab samples that I've been working on, and get your thoughts and feedback in real time, so your opinions can actually affect the final product. One product that I would love to get your guys' feedback on is blush. You can see a couple came cracked, and I don't mind showing you guys these either, because unfortunately the lab did not do the best of jobs at bringing the colors I designed to life. This is just really the first round. We're gonna try it out and see how the actual formula is, because that's really the most important part. Starting off with the cream formula first. I'm gonna dip into this like little peachy girly right up top and see how this one works. Definitely not as pigmented as I would like it to be. For me personally, I prefer a little bit more pigmented than this, but obviously not like crazy. It's not giving, it's not. Let me try a more vibrant color. Let me do like this kind of strawberry color down here. Oh, see, now that's a little too pigmented, I think. Do we want blush duos? Do we want cheaper singles? Do we want a palette? I could even do a palette, 4 creams, 4 powders, 8 powders, 8 creams. I don't know. So I'm gonna write down all my thoughts to send over to the lab for the next round of samples. And I think that's all of my notes, but I wanna hear your notes. I wanna hear all of your thoughts so I can make the best product for you.
So as y'all can see from right there, he is trying on the blushes that he got from his lab as his samples. Like I said, I really do feel like this idea can be very, very cool, because it's getting people involved. It's getting people intrigued. And especially too, like when they see the product being applied, they're going to want to get their hands on it as well too. Y'all, I want to go ahead and read some of these things right here. There is one specific comment that I was just like, oh my God, this is such a brilliant idea. And it's actually kind of like an idea that I had before, and I just thought it was really good, but we'll get into that in a bit. So this is what some people said right here. Maybe a nice empty palette, then you can buy single/inserts. So people can choose if they want creams, powders, mix and match. And then James Charles wrote back to this. This seems so great in theory, but this typical consumer wants easy, and this makes shopping pretty complicated. Which I do want to say I agree. People want like ease. People want convenience. They don't want the option of like, oh my God, you got all these different ones here. Which ones do I choose? Just like with me, y'all know every single time that I talk about Makeup Revolution or even ColourPop, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. When I see way too many options, I just get overwhelmed, and then I end up going to a different brand. Do you know what I mean? So I agree with that. Moving on right here. As a fan of cream, I'd love a cream bronzer and a cream blush duo. Formula has to be on point though. And James Charles wrote back, I'm not sure if this would work, because bronzer depends heavily on skin tone, and of course blush does too, but not necessarily have to, which I do agree. Obviously, I feel like a lot of brands now, especially this day and age, need to come out with several different bronzers, as to where, say for example, you can come out with like 6 blushes and that's good, but if you come out with 6 blushes, I feel like you probably need like maybe 10 bronzers, you know, like in order to get things right, you know, only because I feel like a lot of people forget with like lighter skin tones, coming out with something too orangey is really not the most flattering, so you need something that is really neutral. So I do like that as well too. However, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I almost feel like he knows exactly what he wants, but then he's just kind of like, I don't know. Because I feel like obviously if he already has the samples of this, then he already has this idea in mind, but he's just asking people for I don't know, advice for the future maybe, because I feel like he's already working on it, you know? Anyway, so another one right here. I think it would be cool if you could buy the duo cream and powder blush, but have them removable so we can customize our own blush duo. Oh, this is interesting. My packaging idea would no longer work with this, but definitely something to consider. Somebody had commented as well too, and I'm really curious to know about this. They said, please make the packaging super unique and cute. And he said, trust me, it absolutely will be. And this is another thing that I had said before too, because so many people on my channel, whenever I talk about a Jeffree Star collection, I'm like, y'all, the packaging really brings you in. Like, what else these days are going to bring you in? Because let's keep it real, every single color story has been done, every single like blush has been done, like so many things have been done before that it's very, very hard to get somebody involved in it, and the packaging does that, in my opinion. I'm drawn in by packaging now more so than I am actual color stories, only because I feel like every color story has been done. If you're looking for a neutral palette out there, y'all, let's keep it real. There's probably about 10,000 for you to choose from. You know what I'm saying? So the packaging is really gonna play a factor in what's catching your eye. So this is the one that I wanted to talk about right here, because this is an idea, y'all. I wanted to talk about this so many times on my channel. Y'all know recently I had said about ColourPop. I'm like, why don't they come out with a triangle shaped palette, right? I forget why I came up with the triangle shape. It had to do something with their collection, but basically what I said, wouldn't it be cool if it was a blush, a bronzer, and then a powder of the person's skin tone? Yes, this could be very costly, but ColourPop has the money, and on top of that too, being that they pretty much make the things to order, like whatever they order on, whatever somebody orders online, they pretty much just make it. I feel like they could do it because they have powders, skin tone powders, they have blushes, and they have bronzers. So making something like that would be super convenient for traveling and super, you know, customizable towards people, and I feel like that would be really cool. But I had this idea before, and that's why I wanted to read this comment of something, and I don't know, in my head I feel like it could be genius, but you guys are gonna have to hear me out. So this is what the comment said right here. What if, and hear me out, and if it was almost stackable, like cream on top, powder in the middle, and then maybe like a shimmer blush on the bottom? And James Charles wrote back, very cool idea. Obviously, he didn't really sound too intrigued by that idea, but hear me out on this, y'all. Years ago, and I do mean years ago, whenever the very first Melt Cosmetics stack came out, that's when I was so heavily inspired by that I literally wanted to go up in the lab and I wanted to create this product so much, because I had this idea of, because I loved how they were all like magnetic, stackable, and bam, you just work it out. It could fit so easily in your bag. You could travel so easy with it. I wanted to make magneticable, if that's even a word, magneticable, stackable, whether it be cream blushes, powder blushes, cream highlights, and then bronzers or contour colors that were all stackable. So basically you can make like your own little stackable palette. So you can just like adapt your own thing. Do you know what I mean? You guys have to like try to picture this. So picture on top, you have your highlight there, and then you have your blush, and then you have your bronzer, and then you have your contour. So you can have a full stack, and it's just so easy to use because you could just swipe them out or stack them up. You know what I mean? I feel like that would have been so cool. And I feel like no brands are really doing that. And I really do feel like with Melt, I feel like this would have been something very, very cool for them to do. I think that they did. Am I tripping? I think that they maybe did come out with like a contour that way, but not like the whole idea of like having it mixable. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like obviously you just need a little bit of innovation to like make it to where you can stack different types, so that way people can create their own custom like layout. Basically, I feel like that would be really cool. And no brands are really doing innovative stuff like that, which I think would be really, really fun and very customizable. And on top of that too, I feel like it's super cool that you can like make your own. Picture yourself going to like meltcosmetics.com, and they have all these highlights here, like 10 different highlights that you can choose from. And then they have 10 different blushes that you can choose from. And you can select 1 or 3 or 2 or however many you want, and then just get them all and then just stack them up to have your own little customizable palette, which obviously would take up way less space than an actual like Z palette. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Hopefully you guys get my vision on that. But I really do like the way that James Charles is going with this, if he actually does incorporate some of his followers' ideas. You know what I'm saying? If he already has it fully thought up and he's just basically saying like, oh, what's your guys' ideas to like make pretend that they're being involved with it, then I think that kind of sucks. But I really do feel like other brands should do this. And I said this all the way before with the whole conspiracy collection. I'm like, y'all, why aren't other brands getting their people in on it? Because y'all, when people are involved in it, then they want to experience it. You know what I'm saying? Say for example, if there was 100,000 of us out there who are watching this series and we're all literally like voting what we want, like, oh, this color, this texture, this type of, you know, packaging, y'all, we're gonna want to get our hands on it because we're low-key kind of creating something of our own. Do you know what I mean? I feel like other brands should do that. And I really do feel like James Charles should kind of like do like a docu-series about it. Because y'all, I really do feel like the conspiracy collection was so successful because of the docu-series. And I feel like he should hop on that. Like, other brands really haven't hopped on it, and I feel like they should, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, so make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.